If you want to grab our men's lifestyle supplement and male advantage ebook, all links are in the bio. Because everybody that I knew who went to uni came back fatter, uglier, lazier. They just weren't motivated to do anything in life. Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be talking about, should I go to university or uni? This is a question that gets presented to me on a daily basis in my DMs, in my emails, in the comment section, etc. There's so many young men that are like, if I don't go to uni, will my life be shit? Will it all fall apart? You know, they're so worried. And first things first, I didn't go to university, didn't really want to, family couldn't afford it. I just wasn't really that hell-bent on going. I thought it would be fun, but that was also one of the reasons why I didn't really want to go. Because everybody that I knew who went to uni came back fatter, uglier, lazier. They just weren't motivated to do anything in life. And then I went down with friends a couple times and hung around the uni scene, and I was like, this is a nightmare. Like, the way these people are living is like farm animals. And I just think, like, I don't want to be that old guy that's like, oh, it's terrible, these shit. But it really is. Like, it doesn't set you up well for life. Like, I believe that's why so many people finish uni and then say, fuck it, I'm going to go traveling for 2-3 years, because uni puts you in a lazy mindset where you don't want to go into the working world. You don't want to then start a business or, you know, go back to normal life. Uni's easy, you know, sitting around all day with your feet up. I think so many people go, I'm going to go traveling because then I can justify another 3 years of doing nothing and put my feet up. And it's seen as socially acceptable. And I think that's what sums up university perfectly, is that there's two things here, okay? If you want to be a doctor and you're saying, I'm not going to go to university, you're an idiot. You're going to have to go to university, okay? You're going to have to go down the traditional route. If you want to be a teacher and you're saying, I don't want to go to university, well, good luck with that. You know, it's not going to work. If you have a profession that needs or requires university as its natural route of progression, go to university. Don't be an idiot. Go, work hard, dedicate, do what you need to do, get your dream job, career, whatever it might be, and then move forward in life, okay? For everybody else. And there's so many people that fall in this category that are like, I know I have to go to university. I know I've always wanted to. I always knew I was going to, but I don't know what I'm going to study. What the fuck are you going for? Honestly, what are you going for? Oh, well, my friends are going. And there's a stigma, okay, guys? There's a stigma. I had to get past this myself. That the smart and future successful kids will go to university. Everybody else is a dumbass, and they're not going to be as successful. And if you don't go to university, you're in trouble. You're one of the thick kids, and everyone's going to take the piss out of you. It's not true. It's not true, okay? Most of the kids that didn't go to university that I know, they went and got apprenticeships, 9-to-5 jobs, they worked their way up. And like 3-4 years later, they had 40,000 a year jobs, nothing to write home about, but they had savings, you know, they'd saved up like 50,000. They might have had their own homes, a car, whatever, you know. I don't particularly agree with those things, but they had money available to call upon if need be, and they had zero debts. Whereas the kids who came out of uni, like I said, were lazy. They weren't in that working mindset. It took them a few years to figure it out. A lot of people I know went to university now, still don't have that grinder's mindset. They want to sit around all day and expect things to come to them. That's what pretty much university does. You know, university is something you could do in 3 months if you're dedicated, but it takes people 3 years because that's just how it's laid out. You're told this is going to take 3 years. This is going to be a 3-year course. Truth be told, if you actually dedicated day in, day out, like I do with First Man, or somebody who's passionate about what they do does, and you worked 18 hours a day, you could finish any uni course in 3 to 6 months, piece of it, effortlessly. But you go for 3 years because that's what you're told to do, right? And it kind of puts you in that mindset that I need 5 days off a week, 1 lecture a week, and then 1 day, you know, just sitting around again, just getting drunk, or maybe 2 days in, 5 days off. Like, it puts you in this weird pattern, and I don't think it helped. And all the kids who didn't go are now a lot more driven, a lot more successful. They don't have the debts to pay off. They just have a different mindset. Now, granted, when you finish uni, you can get a fantastic job, or can you? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's people who go into high-level jobs because they have great degrees, But this is the people who knew I need to go to uni to get this specific degree to be a doctor. Now the first wage I'm on is 80,000 a year. See, university's good for you. Yeah, okay. But for everybody else that simply goes to university without a purpose, they're ending up coming out with like, I think it's a 2-1, you know, things like that. A 2-1, which is pretty average. It's pretty middle of the road. I know a lot of people that got that in like sports. Yet they're not really into sports. They just did it because they were like, that should be easy. As long as I got a degree, some company's going to hire me. So they get a degree in sports, they go to a factory for money, and then they start applying at higher level jobs, and they get into like a JP Morgan as a trainee sales advisor. You know, something along those lines. And you're like, well, did you need to go to university to get a sports degree to then go and do a job that they would have hired you for as an apprentice years ago? Like they would have brought you in at like 12,000 per year, and you could have proven yourself, work your way up with no debts, and now be in a higher and better and more experienced and advanced position within a good company. Might not be JP, you know, I'm making it up, but it could be something like that where you'll then higher up the ladder and you worked your way up. These people who go to university just because, I have a theory that it's just because it's socially justifiable to your parents and the authoritative figures in your life that are putting pressure on you, and also the system of education and your teachers. You don't want to let them down. You want to have that certification of I was smart enough to go. It's kind of like a club of acceptance, like Mensa or some shit. People realize that it's socially acceptable to take 3 or 4 years off of your life and not worry about the important things, or not have to worry about money yet, or not have somebody on your back saying, hey, you're going to get a job? Are you going to start paying for things? A lot of kids have that at the back of their mind and realize that this is a socially acceptable way to bum around for 3 to 4 years. You know, if you said to somebody, look, for 3-4 years, I'm going to sit in the house and I am going to trade cryptocurrencies, your parents would go, fucking hell no. Don't think you're doing that. You're going straight to, you know, get a 9-to-5 job if you think you're going to do that. Why can't you do both at the same time? If you said, I'm going to start my own company and I'm going to invest, Mum, Dad, I'm going to ask you for 20,000. I need you to put 20,000 into my new company. They'd say, fuck no, you're not doing that. Whereas if you say, look, I need you to put, it's roughly like 20,000 there, into my uni fees. I know a lot of people get loans. That's what put me off going. My family just couldn't afford it. It would have been outrageous. But if you said to your family 20,000 going to university, a lot of wealthier parents would go, yeah, sure, that's fine. Or middle class parents would say, we can find that money. You know, or they're willing to. Now, my sister went to university. My mum worked like 3 jobs to make sure she stayed there. My mum worked 3 jobs and paid for her to be there, or at least funded a large share of it, just to make sure she was okay. If my sister had said, I'm going to start a business, can you work 3 jobs and fund me? My mum would have said, fuck off. And it's funny that education, or extended education, university, encourages parents or authoritative figures to do that for us. There's something in it. I don't know what it is. And as young adults, we kind of prey on that. We kind of understand that we can go and get drunk for 3 years, sleep with a bunch of women. Okay, guys, that's 90% of the reason we all go to university, is to get drunk and sleep with women and party, and everybody won't be on our back. People around us will be saying, you're at university. Honestly, university is the only modern platform in which you can go and get drunk, sleep all day, have unprotected sex, come home, and your parents will go, well done, fantastic. You know, if you took like a 2-month holiday to Magaluf and was like, I'm going to be a rep in Magaluf, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go to Magaluf. I'm going to be a rep. I'm going to sell shots to people. People would be like, where's your life going? It's going nowhere. It's no different to university, except university, you come out with a piece of paper that says, I'm kind of smart. Okay, if you employ me, you know, I might not put a lot of work in, but I've got the talent somewhere. I've got at least enough intelligence to remember stuff, to write down on an exam form or exam paper. You know, across 3 years, people come out with like a 2-1. Like 3 years. You give me 3 years to cure cancer, I could probably figure it out. Right? It's fucking insane. You have all that time to do that one thing, and all you do is get drunk, etc. But you come home and people go, He's at university. Clever little boy, you. Fantastic university. Yeah, he's going to do well for himself. I'm so proud of him. It's like, it sends such a wrong message. It sends a complete wrong message that you're a great person. You're successful. You're going to be great. You're at university. You're one of the top 5-10%. You go, son. Because then when you get into the working world, you go, oh, fuck, this is a rude awakening. This is a baptism of fire. Nobody respects me. They all went to university. Yeah, degrees are kind of meaningless. Oh, fuck. Like, it means nothing if you're not trying to be a teacher or a doctor. Okay? If you're trying to be anything else in the world and you don't have a specific route, but you think that degree, that little piece of paper, is going to be the trigger that puts you to the top, isn't going to work. Okay? When I used to go for job interviews before this became a full-time job, I used to say, look, I didn't go to university, but look at what I've done in the meantime. Look at all the things I've worked on, the things that I've put together and whatever, where I've been in the world, where I've traveled. And people are like, yeah, it's brilliant life experience. Come on in. You know, the way I spoke, etc., the confidence, the things that I knew about, being an expert generalist in a multitude of different areas. They were like, wow, yeah, this guy can come on in. Just simply the way you dress, being in the gym and just being a larger guy. It's things like this that will push you forward in life. And for guys that are like, I need to go to university, do you really need to have 3 years where you're going to train your brain to be lazier and entitled and getting congratulated for things that you didn't really do a lot for? Okay, your parents are paying for most of it. The educational system's already set up in place. You just showed up, shagged a bunch of girls, got drunk, partied a bit, spent the loan money or your parents' money, didn't really figure out life, and then got a paper at the end and said, well done, you did just good enough to, you know, get like something like a 2-1 or whatever, and now you can go and get a job, or you can travel the world for 3 years, which again, because you've done your uni thing, is socially acceptable. So now you can have 6 years of your life kind of bumming around, not really doing a lot, and being a grown child. A lot of people at university are grown children. That's what they are. They're like adult kids. Okay, you get in the working world and you go, it's like a slap to the face. You go, fuck, this. I need to grow up. I need to sort this out. I need to pay my bills. I need to put this in place. I need to make sure I'm here at this time and there at that time. At university, you can miss lectures and nobody gives a fuck. You can stroll in halfway through and teachers just go, whatever, don't care. Right? There's no self-accountability in university. You can show up in your pajamas. It's just not good for the mentality purpose. Now, if you go there and you know what you want to do, you want to be a doctor, I get it. Go do it. But if you're anybody else who doesn't really have a purpose and just is going because, number one, it's socially acceptable to bum around and they think, oh, it'd be quite nice to have no responsibilities for another 3 years. And secondly, it's celebrated. You know, it's something that is a pat on the back for not really doing too much. If you're one of those people, I recommend you go straight into the working world and give yourself like 3 to 5 years of just in the working world, saving money, putting cash in place for an opportunity. Exhibit A, I invested in Ethereum a while back. It blew up this week. I've made a decent amount of money. If I didn't have that money available, I wouldn't have been able to do that. If I'd just come out of university with debts and not a penny to my name, I would have missed that opportunity. I didn't go to university. I started businesses. I went and worked in factories. I saved up my money. I can take opportunities like that now. The people I know who have come out of university, whether they get a good job or not, they're used to going out and drinking all the time. They're used to other people paying their bills. So when everything gets on top of them, they don't understand the form of budgeting. They don't understand how to, you know, not go out that night, not buy that, because they got the bank of mum and dad that they're so familiar with, and they're so familiar with the educational system, helping them and propping them up. They don't know how to live on their own, how to take opportunities for themselves. Everything is a nice golden path laid out in front of them, and I don't think it breeds a good mentality. So I think if you're somebody who's just going to university because all of your friends are, is socially acceptable, and you believe that all the smart kids go and you want to be celebrated by your parents and those around you, drop your ego, go into the working world, put a foundation of cash underneath you, start to learn life, gain a ton of experience, figure out what you want to do. And for those of you who have messaged me saying, I want to start a business, but I don't know what I want to do yet, don't start a business. If you don't have a burning desire, like I wake up each day and I am obsessed with First Man. And I'm kind of into cryptos now a lot as well. I was looking at it today, but I'll give you guys some tips soon, but I don't want to say too much because then if you lose money, it comes back on me. It doesn't look good. But I'll give you one tip. You can have a little look at some point in a future video. Okay, I've planned it out. But I'm dedicated to First Man, and I love it. Like ever since I was, and this brand's going to be so much more what I want it to be in the future, so much more of what I love. And this is why I started it, because in the early days, it was like I'd see the Tom Ford ads with Juan Betancourt, the male model, and he looked fantastic. You know, I'm a straight guy, but I was like, wow, what a good-looking man. Slick back hair, nice skin, abs, he's chiseled, he's putting on all the creams and whatever, he's dressing up, he looks good. You got Tom Ford's voice as the voiceover, and it's men's products in the men's industry being voiceovered by a man, being worn by a man, and it's all put together. And I was like, wow, I love this. And that kind of boyhood dream of just loving the men's industry, men's fashion, men's grooming, you know, all these things, I've invested into this business, and that's what I love doing, and that was a real passion of mine. And to this day it still is, like showing up in a tailored suit, looking great after hitting the gym for 2 years. I love that shit. That, like, there's something in that just drives me forward. I love the men's industry. You have to find that in your own life. But as to go into university, guys, don't do it for the wrong reasons. Please don't do it for the wrong reasons. Only go if you've got an exact route. Go into the working world, figure out what you want to do with your life, dedicate to becoming a better person, self-improvement. You're young, you have time. If you're going to start a business, the idea will plant in your mind and you will figure it out as you go. Now I'm 28, I started my business at 20. It's not until the start of last year, 2020, that I really knew where I wanted this business to go. As you can see by the results this year, it takes time. Be patient, okay? But if you're going to university for the wrong reasons, stop, take stock. Don't be afraid to go into the working world and build up a pool of money. Opportunities like Ethereum won't come along every year or whatever. Make sure you have that money, the foundation, the no debts in place so that you can take opportunities like that moving forward. If you want to grab our men's lifestyle supplement and male advantage ebook, all links are in the bio.